So hello everyone, welcome to the new day and new vlog. Today I thought that I'll talk about the psychology final exam paper. So today was the exam and now it's over, and if I discuss about my experience, the details of how the exam was and what were the questions, then from the starting, first of all, we received a document as we told you where there were some MCQ questions to be approximately around 225 MCQ questions we received from the professor, and then we had to search answers regarding that. Like she said, you can Google it or you can use various apps to search for the answers. Also, we received a PDF where there were theoretical questions, but a few days back we got a notification in OLET. The professor clarified that in exam there will be only MCQ questions, and out of those MCQ questions only one answer will be correct. And she also gave us this information that there will be total 100 MCQ questions in the exam. So in the PDF that we got, we received 225 questions, and out of that 100 questions came. Now talking about the exam experience, so today the exam started around 10 o'clock and I just reached around 10, and the professor was already there and she was distributing a paper, suppose an answer sheet. So this is also quite different. Like when I went there, then after, like she asked me to sit on a particular place, and then after that she gave me, and it's a kind of maybe OMR sheet, or it's where the numbers are written, suppose 1 to 100, and in front of each number it's like A to E options are written, and in that sheet we have to mention our name, our enrollment number, and then it was mentioned that you have to circle the right answer. So this was the answer sheet, and after that the professor also distributed the exam paper. So in exam paper also we were asked to mention the name, our enrollment number, and also the questions or the 100 MCQs were there in the exam paper. I think almost it was 25-26 pages, something like that. And there the thing is, we have to mark answers in both of them. So we have to circle the answers in the answer sheet where there were only numbers and the options written, and also in the question paper where there are questions, suppose 1 to 100 along with their options, and we have to mark them. So we have to circle in both of the papers, and we have to return both of the papers to the professor. So this was quite different and new. Now talking about the timing of the paper, this was also quite surprising for me. The timing was 2 hours. So professor said that you have 2 hours, and after 30 minutes she notified as well that now you have suppose 90 minutes left, and you have this much time left. Also one more thing, talking about the exam questions. Now there might be this question that, see, since she distributed one PDF where there were MCQ questions, so there might be questions from that. So yes, it is kind of true, there were some questions which were from the PDF, but I think there was a change also, that for some of the questions it happened that question might be the same which was there in the PDF, but the option order was different. Or what happened was, suppose in the PDF that we received, for which we have to find the answers online, suppose there is a question that this is invalid and the options are A, B, C, D, the same options. Now in the exam there was also the same question along with the same options, but there was one change where it was written valid. So she, for some questions, slightly changed the question, and then she asked us, like she informed us this thing during the exam, that please read the questions well, because there might be some change in the questions. It's not like that the questions will be exactly like the PDF, but I would say, as far as my experience is concerned, some of the questions, means the questions were from PDF. I think 1 or 2 questions maybe were new, like completely new. But the thing is, for some of the questions it was like the options were changed. So maybe in the PDF the option was C, now in the exam paper it is option A. So either the options were changed or the value was changed, that if in the PDF it is written that this is valid, then in exam it came invalid. If in PDF it is written that this will be false, then in exam which statement is true. So there is slight change in the question. So I think it is also important to read the questions well during the exam. So I think she also suggested that suppose if one of the person was submitting the paper, she suggested that you have to read questions, like just go through the questions once more and just verify it, because I have tried to change the questions, and now see, it's quite windy weather and you can hear the noise or the sound from outside. But the thing is, it was quite interesting paper since there were 100 MCQ questions. One more thing, since we got the PDF, so we also discussed among the students that which answer you feel is correct, because when suppose for some of the questions we searched the answer online, there were sometimes the cases where one website is saying that the answer should be B, the other website is saying the answer should be D. So it's like discussing among us and then deciding, referencing the slides as well, because the topics were related to the slides that the professor shared. So I think it's always good to go through the questions to decide which answer to follow, and also while answering the questions in the exam, just going through the paper like once or twice, so that you get to know that if is there any difference among the questions regarding the word, regarding the language or not. And I think one more thing I observed was that suppose in a question, suppose it was in two parts in PDF. Now there was only one part in the exam that this is not valid or this justifies when. So you might feel that the options are also same like PDF, but since there is change in the question or they are only talking about the first part, so I think even if in the PDF you found the answer B, but now since they are talking about only one part in the exam paper, so the answer can be C. So like this, the questions were modified. Some of the questions were modified, I would say, but I think it's also good if like as we said, there would we would be preparing the MCQs. You must have seen our preparation blog as well, that where we talked about the material that we received. So I think it's always good to search for the answers and then go through the questions during the exams, so that to verify that are they same, are they different, or and then you can apply your particular technique, because it depends on your technique and your experience that how you search the answers. But I think some of the people, if I talk about, then the time was sufficient enough, because if you have suppose prepared the questions and you have to mark or circle in the answer sheet and in the question paper, so maybe you can do that simultaneously while you are marking the answers, and then you can also verify. It depends on your approach. But the paper was interesting, and our psychology final exam is also finished. As I said, it is 100 MCQ questions, 100 points, and in the PDF there were 225 questions, and we had to search the answers for that. Also, now one more point I would like to add, that the professor also told us, now psychology final exam is done. The thing is, our deadline for submitting the PPT and the final term paper is extended. You must have seen that I talked that previously it was extended, and now on the final exam day only we have to submit the presentation and the final paper. But since we have not yet received some of the reviews for our PPT, like she said she will upload, professor although told some information, I will come to that. But since we have not received the reviews now, for example for the draft paper or for other assignments, so the professor said that now I would be extending that to March. And so this is the thing, that deadline is again extended, and we have to submit PPT and the final paper. That because to submit the final paper we need some of the reviews for our final or our draft paper that we have submitted. Now coming to the information regarding PPT, the professor told that since you have to submit now the presentation online, although earlier it was asked that we have to maybe present in the class, now we have to record a 6-minute video regarding it. So professor said you can use Zoom or other things, other links, just you have to make the PPT, you have to submit the recording and the PPT online. Although I will be talking about this topic when I'll be submitting that, when I'll be preparing the presentation, and when I'll be doing that, then I'll try to cover this topic as well. But this is just to highlight that for these two things our deadline is extended. For some of the things we have not received the review yet, but this is the submission which we have to do online. But the offline today was the exam is finished, and I think it was a good experience. And one more thing that I want to add is that we have to mark the answers with blue pen. We have to circle them out, and suppose if we want to circle another answer, then we have to make a cross for the answer that we don't want in our answer sheet. So this point the professor also mentioned, so we have to carry one blue pen and obviously our ID card, and that's it for this exam paper. And I hope you also get some information through this vlog. Rest like, comment, share, subscribe. It doesn't take much time. You can also take this psychology subject if you want. See you in new day, new vlog. Bye bye, ciao ciao, namaste, chalo.